Welcome to Offgrid Victory. So today I want to talk to you about my vehicle here, the off-road lifted Honda CR-V. So this is a fourth generation Honda CR-V. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle, not really four-wheel drive, but all-wheel drive. But people don't realize how useful this particular vehicle, of course it's dependable, of course it gets pretty good fuel economy, but how useful it is on an off-grid homestead or even on a farm, right? So we talked in the last video how useful it can be as a reliable vehicle for minor hauling things. And so I want to show you my lifted CR-V that's off-road ready and tell you some of the pros and cons of doing so. So here it is. All right, now that I got the vehicle in full frame, you can kind of see the additional things that I've done to it. So first of all, the car itself is very much lifted. It's actually lifted by 3.5 inches in the front and the rear. And of course it has this nice little bull bar with a light. And of course there's a roof rack there too. So a couple things I want to just tell you systematically what I did to it. And of course there's some cosmetic things, like there's a little hood shield and rain shields on the side of the windows. So why did I do all of this? Well, I did it because I had the time and I had the money to spend on this vehicle to make it you know, pimped out, if you will, right? And so I wanted an off-road ready vehicle that can get through the mud. Now, what I'm not showing you here in the rear is also a hitch, and I'll show you that in a bit. But what I want to talk to you about is the pros and cons of doing such modifications. So let's go ahead and start with the obvious here, the tires and the lift. Okay, so these are, first of all-terrain tires. Not all-season tires, but all-terrain. Now, I decided to go with all-terrain tires for one specific reason, and that's grip. You see all of the deep treads it has, and this particular wheel has already gone through some mud, right? And this extra lift, 3.5 total inches, really helps this vehicle to clear the ground. As you can see, I mean, we have you know, a good clearance in terms of ground clearance, and now we can go through some of the mud and the muck and these holes that we have in the ground, right? And so one of the things you can do right away without even lifting the vehicle, so I have a front and rear lift kit that lifts the vehicle 2.5 inches, but you can automatically get a 1-inch lift if you just go with a larger tire. So for instance, this is a 245/65 17-inch tire. What comes standard on a CR-V is a 225/65 17 tire. So what you have done is increase the diameter of the tire overall, right, and the tread width on the car. And this is about what you can do so that all of this will clear the wheel well without touching. So with the additional height from the new set of tires and the lift, I'm getting 3.5 inches of lift in terms of the ground clearance I have right there. And of course, let's go to the top here. I had to go ahead and install this roof rail and the crossbar, as well as this roof rack. And I like this particular roof rack because it has a locking mechanism in the top so that you can keep it safe from somebody taking it. And of course, in the front here, I have this bull bar. So this bull bar is nice because if you have cattle, things like that, it's nice to kind of, you know, nudge them along if you had to without really scraping up your bumper. And of course, because I have the bull bar, I was able to go ahead and attach this lower light bar, which really helps at night coming into the property and out of the property, especially since we are off-grid and we don't really have a lot of lighting on our property at all, right, other than the little solar lights that we have. So that really helps. And lastly, I want to talk to you about the hitch system that we have here. So we have this Kurt hitch, and it's a 2-inch hitch with a receiver. And of course the wiring is inside the trunk that we could bring out and attach our trailer or anything else that we have to haul. And now this vehicle is pretty much able to haul the light things that we need on our homestead, going back and forth. And we don't have to dirty up the trunk or anything like that, right? So these are the improvements I've made to the vehicle. And so let's go over some of the pros and cons now. Yeah, what are the pros? Well, the pros are pretty obvious. I mean, you got a pretty nice looking vehicle. It's lifted. It looks kind of like a monster truck almost. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the pros of doing this lift. Well, obviously your vehicle stands right out, and you can find it easily on the parking lot. But more than that, joking aside, what it really does for us is it increases the elevation or the ground clearance of the vehicle. And you know, going with the all-terrain tires, lifted, all of that gives us better traction on the road overall, because we're increasing the tire width as well, and so it grips better on the road. And significantly in terms of handling, it really doesn't affect it that much by lifting it. And so what it does do for us is give us that ground clearance that we really need. And of course this bull bar could come in handy potentially for deer or for just moving cattle along, right? And this light bar definitely will help on our homestead, because that's going to be really bright when we enter and exit the property. And so those are the benefits. And of course the roof rack, that's nice, and it gives us extra storage space. But we have the trailer hitch in the rear, so we can always put a trailer behind it, right? So we can always take that roof rack off if we want to. And so let's go into the negatives, right? So what are the negatives of this? Well, the main negative is you're going to lower your miles per gallon or your MPGs. And unfortunately, that is something that can't be avoided, because first of all, you're changing the aerodynamics of the car. I mean, in most cases, you don't want to lift the vehicle or lower a vehicle, because it will change the aerodynamics. And of course, you don't want to add stuff to the top or to the sides or the front, because once again, that changes the aerodynamics of the vehicle. And so most likely you're going to lower your MPG. So with all of this, roof rack, lifted wheels, different size wheels, with the all-terrain wheels, bull bar, all of that, I'm probably losing about 2 to 4 MPGs on this vehicle, which is okay for me, because you know what, it's way better than any of my trucks. So that's a good thing. However, that might not work for you. But what you could do to save an MPG or two is not have that roof bar and that roof rail. That's going to cut it down in terms of the MPGs. Secondly, the problem with adding all of this stuff is you are going to increase the wind noise in the cabin compartment of your vehicle. Now, this Honda CR-V is not super well insulated interior anyway. I mean, it's not a luxury vehicle by any standard. And so you're going to get road noise, you're going to get wind noise. So to me, honestly, that's not a huge negative. I can easily live with that, but you might not want to. So that's another reason why you don't want to go with this kind of lifted monster truck look. But in terms of what I want to use it for, it's really, really spectacular. I really like it. I hope you guys like it. And if any of the viewers want more detailed in terms of installation, all of that good stuff, please let me know in the comments section. I would be happy to do that. Or if you want a parts list, if you want definitely the type of tire, the increase that I got in terms of the lift kit, and also the tires themselves, please let me know. Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed this video. My lifted off-road Honda CR-V 4th Gen. Alrighty, shalom.